a heartbeat. It's just
You guys have fun? I heard the shooting gallery turned into a water war.
Yeah!
Dodgeball was not
Hey,
good.
you guys, you just keep hanging on to that. You guys will find, spread about the room, you will find these. And you will also find these. Get around somebody who has, there should be enough for everybody to have one of these, and maybe one for every 3 people, okay? You're going to need these, okay? Let me go ahead and pray for us as I get started with our message tonight. Lord, thank you so much for this evening. Thank you for the opportunity to, Lord, to hear from your word, to open our hearts to whatever it is you have for us tonight. And Lord, I'm just so thankful for everything that you're doing with us and among us, Lord. Please be our special guest tonight. Teach us and shape us. In your precious name. Amen. All right, well, like I told you guys for some time now, we're going to be talking about books of the Bible, but not about them in a way that maybe you've heard before. Sometimes you'll hear people go verse by verse through every single book of the Bible, and to be honest, I think sometimes that gets a little tiring, doesn't it? You're sort of wondering, what are we doing here? What's the big picture? And so our focus for the next couple of months, February, March, is we're going to take a look at some New Testament books from the Bible. And I'm going to tell you how to use them and what the basic rundown of each one is, so that way you can use it in a practical way for your life. Does that sound valuable?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, well, if you notice, our theme this week is called Special Delivery. Special Delivery describes how, did you know that each book in the New Testament, well, not each book, but most of them were actually just letters to people? Yeah. Imagine writing a long email to a friend, and then a couple of years later, people said, hey, what you wrote was really something important, and I actually think it was something more than just what you wrote. I think God was speaking through you. And I think that what you wrote in that letter is truth that's good for all time. It's truth that's good enough to teach people for the rest of human existence. Well, that's what happened to a lot of books in the New Testament. People were writing to each other, trying to figure out Christianity, trying to figure out, hey, how do we live this brand new life? They were asking hard questions, and they were working out real answers to those questions. And that's what these books are. And that's why they're so valuable. Because they're not just theological explanations or books written about things that don't matter. They're letters from real people to real people explaining real issues. And tonight we're going to look at the book of James. Now let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a friend, like a really, really good friend? Like a friend who could walk up to you and tell you, like, hey, you're kind of jacked up, or you were really, really rude there. And because of your relationship with this friend, you didn't get mad, or you didn't get offended. Anybody have a friend like that? Hey, those friends are valuable because they help us keep in check. Because you know that that friend cares more about you than what you think of them. Like, they know, like, you know that they're not trying to offend you. You know that they're not trying to backstab you. Like, you know when they tell you, hey, your fly's down, it's because your fly is really down. And they're looking out for you. And they don't want you to look like an idiot. We are really, really lucky to have friends like that. Because I know that not everybody here has a friend like that. Some people don't have any friends who are honest enough with them to really tell them what's up. And that's not always a good thing, because sometimes you'll miss stuff. Sometimes you need a friend who's brave enough to grab you by the collar and say, man, you are screwing this up. Stop doing this. Well, I tell you, that's exactly what the book of James is. James, which is the book we're going to be looking at tonight, is like a good friend who talks to you really straight. Tells you when you're messed up. Tells you how to do things right. Because let's be honest, from time to time, we can get distracted in life, right? We can get a little off track, we get focused on one thing and we forget about the bigger picture of life, and we sort of mess things up for a while. Anybody been in that boat besides me? Okay, alright. Well, there's a few honest people in the room tonight. This book is like that friend that sets us straight. But also, if we're honest, we know that not everybody wants to have a friend like this. Not everybody always wants to be told what's right. Because sometimes we don't want to be told that we are treating people unfairly to get something out of them. Like, gentlemen, have you ever found yourself treating a girl you liked really, really nice? and then treating some girl you didn't like a jerk?
Yeah.
Well, you're treating people unfairly. Thank you, honest. Whoever that was, thank you, you're very honest. If you're doing that, you're not really, I hope you have a good friend. If you're like, man, you're being a jerk. And every girl here knows it. Because every girl notices that, right? Every girl notices when a guy only treats one girl nice and everybody else like a piece of trash. Or the opposite. Maybe you girls, maybe you treat some people extra special. Not that you're rude to everybody else, but maybe you treat somebody extra special because you want to get something out of them. Like you want their good opinion, you want to be their friend, or you want to be invited to their party. Well, that's not always a good way to go, too. And if you have a good friend to say, hey, you're not really being true to yourself, and you're not really doing things the way you should. Well, James sets us straight. James tells us, like it is, when things are right and when things are wrong. So what I've made for you guys here, these little blue sheets, this is your cheat sheet to the book of James. And you can take this, put this in your mirror, throw it in your Bible, keep it in your room. I always look at the books of the Bible and I'm kind of like, where the heck do I go for stuff? Well, this is like, I wrote this in your language. On the right side is the chapter and verse, and on the right is just a common sense explanation of what that part of the book is about. If you'll see, it says how to test your faith, or the power of what you say, or how to think about the future, or when life sucks, why should I stay faithful? That's what these books explain. And I want to give you guys an opportunity. Go ahead and look this over. In a moment or two, we're going to take a look at some of these areas of the Bible, and then I'm going to have you guys tell me what you think it means. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so everybody gather up around a Bible. Make sure you have these cards. Make sure everybody's around something of a Bible. Go ahead and pick one of these areas that interests you, and just go ahead and open that up and read it. You'll find the book of James on page 837 in this Bible. Page 837 in this Bible. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes. Find that area and read that section for yourself, okay?
What section?
We don't have the thing.
Page 837. Go ahead and open those Bibles up and just pick a section. Don't be afraid.
It's okay.
You got it there? Good. Go ahead and take a look at one of those sections.
You guys have these?
Go ahead and read on your own. I'm going to ask nicely, could you guys please keep your talking to a minimum? Just so people who are reading can concentrate. Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh, I hate when every Michaela gets an app, it comes on my phone. She's getting I know how to do it.
Go ahead and look at one of your cheat sheets, Dan.
Oh,
You have to go to your settings and like make it so that it's not shared anymore.
where is she?
No, you don't need her phone.
No, I'm just saying, is she getting an app right now? Like, what is she doing?
She's getting Jesus
Is it under
Calling.
iCloud?
No.
No. It's under App Store.
It's share.
Or they
Automatically downloaded on other devices. Do you want that off figure?
Yeah, just apps.
downloading
Just
it.
music's fine. Thank you. Now we're going to figure out what that verse is telling you.
Okay, a couple more minutes to finish your section. And I want to see what you guys think.
It's in the picture.
Do you like the 5?
That's really no different.
What?
You guys, make sure you guys read. Take this time. This time is for you.
It was.
That's funny. She, when I,
I'm going to give you guys about 2 more minutes. And I'm going to see what you guys think.
when I first saw him, she just came over for the dog. I was like, great. like we'd have like dinner and she'd like eat really fast to go like lay on the ground with the dog and be like, okay.
The time she came over, I was like doing something. I was like, oh, I'll be right back. I need a fish. And then I come back and she's like, oh, my dog's bed. And like,
That's so hurt.
She's like, puppy.
yeah. Doggy.
I was on Del Mar once and I ran into this dog and it just like my arms and they're like giggling and I was like, what? Yeah, and I was like, whoa.
Stole my dog.
I have weird dogs. Never happened to me.
Oh, like nuts.
Oh, how cute. He's adorable.
It licks my
No,
So cute.
I walk in the house
If I
and
can
it
have your attention back
like
up
licks
front.
my legs. And
Anybody,
I want a little dog too.
Anybody want to share with us what they read? Anybody learn anything or see anything in there? Taylor, the brave one.
Well,
Which section did you read?
we read Don't Give Up on People.
Don't give up on people. Okay. And what'd you read in there?
We read that, like, if one of your friends, like, something bad.
Hey, everybody, I need you guys to pay attention to Taylor. She's saying some really cool stuff up here.
If one of your friends, like, turns away and does something bad, like, help him out and, like, trying to bring him back to where he was, and, like, you'll save him from sins and he's not going to hell.
Good. Yeah, so it's kind of that friend that I described earlier. Do you care enough about somebody to tell them when they're going wrong and help them come back? Good. What's another section that somebody read? James.
I was reading the part about actions speak louder than words, which was like 14 through something up there, 18 I think, or something like
What
that.
does real faith look like?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What'd you read in there?
I was reading that it doesn't matter what you say, it's more like what you do and the deeds you do.
Okay. Yeah, that's some harsh word, especially, did that mess with your head a little bit? How many people have heard all you have to do is believe in Jesus, you'll be saved? You guys heard that? This book says something like, it says, whoa, it's not just about what you say. You got to do some stuff too. So you're like, what is that about? I'll explain that one in a little while. Who read another section? Sam, what'd
Well, I
you
was
read?
gonna answer, is that like loving God, loving others? Is that what it's talking about?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
James sections?
James.
A little bit. We'll talk about that. Who read a different section that they want to share with us? Kendall and Kurt, what'd you read?
We read When Life Sucks, Why Stay Faithful?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It was kind of about like to have patience through the face of suffering, no matter how hard.
Exactly.
Trust God.
Yes, keep trusting God. You know, I can't tell you the number of times where I've talked with somebody, and let's just say something horrible happens, or something bad goes, it happens in their life, and they're like, oh, where was God in this? Why did this happen to me? I'm going to give up on God in this. Well, you know what? Most of the time, that stuff happens just because we can't control anything, or because things just go wrong. And I think it's really surprising that people give up on God when He didn't actually do that to them. I find it so surprising when people say, oh, well, God's not there for me. Well, God didn't bring that about. So just be patient. He's still good. He's still working things out for you. Good. I'm glad you guys picked that up on. Sam, you have something else for us?
I read the power of what you say, and that was like about how the tongue is very strong and it can be used to like build people up or tear people down. So.
Exactly. That old saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's a total lie, isn't it?
Yes.
They do hurt. And it's amazing how, have you ever had somebody tell you something or encourage you just by what they say, and it makes you think differently about yourself? You guys ever had that? You ever had somebody believe in you and they told you that, you felt good enough to try something? How about the opposite? You ever had somebody tell somebody that you're a piece of dirt, a piece of crap, and you begin to believe that? And you begin to think that you're not worthy of a lot of stuff? I find that a lot more often than I find people who are encouraged by others, what they say. So don't ever minimize the power of what you say. That's what we see in this book. Let's go, last one. Yes, sir. Wyatt, what'd you read? Okay. What'd you take away from that?
One verse that says, be patient and brothers until the Lord is coming. See how the farmer waits for the land to yield its valuable crop.
Yeah, when you're a farmer, there's nothing to